My fiancé demanded, "Cancel your best friend as best man. I want my ex there instead." I said, "Interesting choice." Then I canceled the entire wedding and sent her ex an invoice for the deposit with "thanks for the inspiration" attached. Her panicked voicemails revealed I, 29 male, am sitting in what was supposed to be my wedding venue in 3 weeks, watching the event coordinator pack up the sample centerpieces. Just sent the cancellation emails to 150 guests. My phone's been buzzing non-stop for the past 4 hours, but I'm oddly calm about the whole thing. Let me back up. I've been with Meredith, 27, for 3.5 years, engaged for 8 months. The wedding planning had been mostly smooth. She handled decorations, I handled logistics, we both compromised on the guest list. Normal couple stuff. My best friend Derek, 30, and I have been tight since middle school. Dude literally saved my life once when we were teenagers, pulled me out of a riptide. He was there through my dad's cancer, my career struggles, everything. Making him my best man wasn't even a question. Last Tuesday, Meredith drops this bomb over dinner. So I've been thinking, Derek shouldn't be your best man. I literally stopped mid-chew. What? Why? He's just not wedding party material. He's awkward at events. Derek's an engineer. Yeah, he's quiet, but awkward? The man gave a beautiful toast at his brother's wedding last year. Meredith, what's this really about? She fidgets with her napkin. I want Blake in the wedding party. Blake, her ex. The one she dated for 4 years before me. The one whose name still popped up on her phone occasionally. You want your ex at our wedding? Not just at it. I want him as a groomsman, maybe even the best man since you need to replace Derek anyway. I actually laughed. Thought she was joking. She wasn't. Listen, she continues. Blake and I stayed friends. He knows all our friends. He'll make the photos look better, and honestly, he's more presentable than Derek. More presentable? Blake's tall, photogenic. Derek's, short, balding. It'll throw off the aesthetic. The aesthetic. My best friend of 17 years should be excluded from my wedding for the aesthetic. And, she adds, like this is the deal closer. Blake already agreed to do it. You already asked him? Before talking to me? I knew you'd be weird about it. I set down my fork. Really looked at her. This woman I was about to marry just called my best friend unpresentable and went behind my back to recruit her ex. Interesting choice, I said quietly. She smiled, thinking she'd won. So you'll tell Derek? Oh, I'll handle everything. Wednesday morning, 8 a.m., called the venue, explained I needed to cancel. They kept the deposit, 10 grand, non-refundable. Fine. Called the catering company, another 3 grand deposit gone. Photographer? 2 grand. DJ? 500. Florist? 1,500. By noon, I'd canceled everything. Total loss, about $22,000. Money I'd saved for 3 years. Then I did something petty, maybe even stupid. But it felt right. I made an invoice, a professional one like I use for my freelance design work. Addressed to Blake Hutchinson. Itemized list of all the deposits lost. Total due $22,000. At the bottom, in the notes section, thanks for the inspiration to cancel. Best man position clearly meant more to you than it did to her. Emailed it to him with Meredith CC'd. Then I sent a group message to all 150 wedding guests. The wedding between myself and Meredith is canceled. No drama, just realized we have fundamentally different values. Thank you for your understanding. Packed a bag, turned off my phone, and went to Derek's place. His reaction when I told him, dude, I never liked her anyway. Beer? It's been 6 hours. I finally turned my phone back on. Voicemails from Meredith, 14 texts from Meredith, 68, missed calls from her mom, 8, texts from Blake, 3. The first voicemail, timestamp 12:23 p.m., crying, "What did you do? Why is the venue saying we're canceled? Call me back." Second one, 12:05 p.m., angry, "You can't just cancel our wedding without talking to me." Third one, 1:15 p.m., panicked. "Blake just showed me some invoice. What is this? This is insane." Fourth one, 1:30 p.m., bargaining. Okay, Derek can be best man. Blake doesn't have to be in the wedding. Please call me back. Fifth one, 2 p.m., desperate. My mom is freaking out. Everyone's calling about the cancellation email. We can fix this. I listened to all of them. Blake's texts were actually hilarious. Bro, this invoice is a joke, right? I'm not paying for your wedding drama. Tell Meredith to stop calling me. The entitlement is staggering. She really thought I'd just accept it? Replace my best friend with her ex for photos? Derek's letting me crash here while I figure out next steps. We're currently 3 beers deep, playing Call of Duty, and honestly, I haven't felt this clear-headed in months. Update 1, 2 days later. The last 48 hours have been educational. First, Meredith showed up at Derek's apartment yesterday morning. Full makeup, red dress, she knows it's my favorite, holding a box of my stuff from our apartment. Derek answered the door. He doesn't want to see you. This is between me and my fiancée. Ex-fiancée, Derek corrected. I came to the door. Mistake. Baby, please, she starts. This is crazy. You can't throw away 3 years over one tiny request. Tiny request? You wanted to replace my best friend with your ex. I was thinking about the photos, our memories. Is that so wrong? You called Derek unpresentable. Derek, from behind me. I'm literally right here. Meredith ignored him. Can we just talk, privately? We can talk right here. She huffed. Fine. Mom wants to know who's paying her back for the dress. Her dress. $3,000 designer dress that her mom insisted on buying despite us saying we'd handle it. That's between you and your mom. You canceled the wedding. You wanted your ex as my best man. I said he could be a groomsman, maybe best man. It was a suggestion. Derek actually snorted. You literally told Blake he could do it before even asking. She spun on him. This is your fault. If you weren't so, she gestured vaguely at him, this wouldn't have happened. So what? Derek asked calmly. Short? Bald? Not Instagram-worthy? Her face went red. I didn't mean. Yes, you did, I said. And that's the problem. You prioritize appearances over actual relationships. Then came the tactical nuke. Besides, Blake's married. Record scratch moment. What? Yeah, saw it on Facebook yesterday. Got married 6 months ago. Small ceremony. Guess he didn't mention that when you were planning his role in our wedding? Her face went from red to white. She pulled out her phone, furiously scrolling. Found it. Her expression was something. He said he was single. Why would that matter if he was just being a groomsman? Silence. Then her mom's car pulled up. Patricia got out looking like she was ready for war. What is this nonsense about canceling? Do you know how much we've invested? I've invested $22,000 in deposits, Patricia. That's your choice. We bought the dress, the shoes, the jewelry. Again, your choice. I said we didn't need help. How dare you embarrass us like this? Everyone's asking what happened. Derek pulled out his phone, started recording. For legal purposes, he said cheerfully. Patricia went nuclear. You pathetic little man. My daughter was doing you a favor marrying you. You'll never find anyone better. I'd rather be alone than with someone who thinks I'm an aesthetic accessory. Meredith was now crying. Big dramatic tears. I just wanted nice photos. Is that a crime? No, but lying about Blake being single is pretty sketchy. I didn't lie, I just didn't know. Patricia grabbed her daughter's arm. Come on, let the loser stew in his mistake. You'll be begging us to come back. As they left, Patricia shouted, We're keeping the gifts. What gifts? I called back. I canceled before the shower. Door slam. Car peel out. Blake texted an hour later. Dude, she's been blowing up my wife's phone. Make it stop. I responded, not my circus anymore. Then the social media campaign started. Meredith posted this long thing about toxic masculinity and men who can't handle confident women. Her friends piled on. Comments about how I was threatened by her past and too insecure for an adult relationship. So I posted the invoice I sent Blake. No context, just the image. Comments exploded. People asking why her ex got a wedding cancellation invoice, why his name was even involved. The narrative crumbled fast. Her sister Anna actually texted me. Is it true she wanted Blake as best man? Yup. Jesus. I'm sorry. She told us you were jealous of their friendship. She wanted to remove Derek for the aesthetic and replace him with Blake. That's... Wow. Mom's telling everyone you're having a breakdown, tube you. I'm playing video games and eating pizza with Derek. Most peaceful I've been in months. Good for you. Last night around 11 p.m. Meredith sent a long text. I'm sorry I hurt Derek's feelings, but you're overreacting. Blake means nothing to me romantically. I just wanted our wedding to look perfect. Every girl dreams of the perfect wedding photos. Why is that wrong? You're throwing away our future over one small ask. Please reconsider. We can do counseling. I'll apologize to Derek. Whatever you want. I responded, you planned our wedding with your ex before consulting me. That's not a small ask. That's a fundamental breach of trust. The deposits are gone. The relationship is done. Please stop contacting me. You're going to regret this. I already regret not seeing the red flags sooner. She sent 30 more texts, ranging from insults to apologies to threats about what she knows about me. I'm genuinely curious what she thinks she has. Derek's been a champ. Took today off work to help me apartment hunt. Found a decent studio downtown. Moving in next week. Already called a lawyer about getting my stuff from our old place. The wedding was supposed to be in 18 days. Instead, I'll be setting up a new apartment. Honestly, can't wait. Update 2, 1 week later. Thought I was done updating, but the entitlement has reached new heights, and y'all deserve to hear this. Moved into my new studio apartment 3 days ago. Derek and his brother helped. Was feeling good, finally processing everything in peace. Then Wednesday happened. Got a call from my credit card company about suspicious activity. Someone tried to buy $8,000 worth of furniture online using my card. Shipping address? The apartment I'd shared with Meredith. Canceled the card immediately, disputed the charges, and filed a police report. The officer taking the report actually said, "Let me guess, bad breakup? Canceled wedding." Yeah, we see this a lot. While I'm at the police station, I get a text from my buddy who works at the Mercedes dealership. "Yo, your ex just tried to trade in your car for a new lease. We refused since her name's not on the title, but thought you should know." My car, that I bought 2 years ago, that only has my name on everything. I raced over there. Sure enough, Meredith's there with Blake. Apparently his wife kicked him out after the invoice incident, arguing with the sales manager. "It's community property," she's saying. "We were never married," I said, walking in. She spun around. "Oh, now you show up. To stop you from stealing my car?" "Yeah." Blake stepped forward, trying to look intimidating. "Hey man, she just needs some help getting back on her feet." "With my car? After your involvement destroyed our relationship?" "I didn't destroy anything. You're the one who went nuclear over nothing." The sales manager looked entertained. "Sir, would you like us to call the police?" "Already filed a report for the credit card fraud." Meredith's face went pale. "Credit card fraud? I used the card for necessities. $8,000 in furniture? I need somewhere to sit." "You have furniture." "It doesn't match my new aesthetic." The manager actually laughed, then covered it with a cough. Blake tried to play mediator. "Look, just let her use the car for a few weeks. The married man who was going to be my best man wants me to loan my ex my car? That's rich. I'm separated. Because of this situation?" Silence. The manager suggested they leave. Meredith started crying again, but not sad crying, angry crying. "You've ruined everything. My wedding, my home, my stability. You ruined it yourself when you prioritized your ex over our relationship. It was about photos." Derek, who'd apparently followed me there, solid friend, piped up, "No, it was about control and disrespect." She turned on him. "Nobody asked you, Chrome Dome." Derek just smiled. Still bitter about the aesthetics? That's when Blake's wife showed up. Yeah, that escalation. Tall woman, designer, everything, looking furious. "There you are." Blake went white. "Babe, I can explain." "Explain why you're helping your ex steal her ex's car?" Meredith stepped forward. "We're just friends." "Friends? Friends? You asked him to be in your wedding. He told me he was helping a coworker move." Plot twist. Blake stammered. "It wasn't like that." His wife turned to me. "Is this the guy?" Referring to me. "I'm the one who canceled the wedding when I found out about their arrangement." She nodded. "The invoice sender. Creative. I liked that." Then she turned to Blake. "Get in the car. Now." "Lauren, please." "Car. Now." He slunk away like a scolded dog. Lauren looked at Meredith. "Stay away from my husband. I don't care what history you have." "I didn't know you existed," Meredith protested. "He's worn a wedding ring for 6 months." Another silence. Lauren left. Meredith stood there, carless, accompliceless, crying again. The manager asked us all to leave. In the parking lot, Meredith made one last attempt. "Can you at least give me a ride home?" "Call an Uber." "I don't have money. You canceled all my cards." "They were my cards. You were an authorized user." "This is financial abuse." Derek laughed. Actually laughed. "No, this is consequences." Yesterday I got a call from her dad. First time Richard has ever called me directly. "Son, what's this about credit card fraud?" Explained the situation. Long silence. Then, "Jesus Christ, Patricia told me you were being vindictive, but $8,000. On furniture. After we'd already ended things. I'll handle it. Send me the police report number. We'll pay it back if the charges go through. Richard, I don't want... No, I'm sorry. I knew she had issues with Blake, but this is beyond acceptable. Issues? Another pause. She never got over him choosing Lauren. This was probably some weird revenge thing, using you to get to him. Well, that's a fun revelation. You're saying she wanted him in our wedding to make his wife jealous? I'm saying my daughter needs therapy, and you dodged a bullet. I'll handle the money. You take care of yourself. Today woke up to find out Meredith started a GoFundMe. Help me rebuild after domestic abuse. Goal: $25,000. The description claimed I isolated her from friends, controlled all finances, and abandoned her with nothing. Already had $300 from sympathetic strangers. Derek screenshot it and sent it to his lawyer friend. Within 2 hours, it was taken down for fraud. Her mom called me screaming about ruining Meredith's future. Patricia, she committed credit card fraud and lied on a fundraising site. She's heartbroken. You broke her. She tried to steal my car with her married ex-boyfriend. He's separated. Because of her. Click. The wedding would have been next Saturday. Instead, Derek and I are doing a barbecue at his place, calling it the Dodged a Bullet barbecue. His brother's bringing his smoker. My cousin's band is playing. We invited everyone who was supposed to come to the wedding. Currently RSVPs, 73 yes, 12 no. The rest haven't responded. Her sister Anna messaged, "Can I come to the barbecue? I'll bring potato salad." Aren't you Meredith's sister? Yeah, but she tried to steal your car. That's fucked up. Plus, Derek seems cool, and she was horrible to him. So Meredith's own sister is coming to my anti-wedding party. Life's wild sometimes. Final update, 3 weeks later. Wedding day came and went. The Dodged a Bullet barbecue was incredible. 84 people showed up, including Anna, Meredith's sister, who brought the best potato salad I've ever had and stayed till 2 a.m. doing shots with Derek's brother. But that's not why I'm updating. Remember the invoice I sent Blake? The $22,000 one? Well, Lauren, Blake's wife, did something amazing. She actually sent me a check for $5,000 with a note. This is from Blake's personal account. Consider it partial payment for the chaos he helped cause. The rest is coming in installments once my lawyer is done with him. Thank you for opening my eyes. L. I didn't cash it initially, felt weird. But Derek convinced me. Dude, that money was for your wedding. Take it. So I did. Put it straight into savings. Then yesterday got served with legal papers. Meredith is actually suing me for deliberate infliction of emotional distress and financial abandonment. She's seeking $50,000 in damages. Her claims, I maliciously canceled the wedding to humiliate her. I trapped her in financial dependence, then cut her off. I orchestrated a harassment campaign against her. I caused her to lose her job. News to me. That last one was interesting. Called Anna to ask WTF. Oh yeah, she got fired last week, kept missing work to deal with the wedding crisis, and then they found out she was using company time to plan her GoFundMe and talk to lawyers. Her own choices got her fired. But somehow that's my fault? My lawyer, yes, got a real one now, laughed when he read the filing. This is desperation. She has no case. Countersue for the credit card fraud and will probably never hear from her again. But the real kicker came this morning. Richard, her dad, called. I need you to know something. We're moving. Okay? To Florida, Patricia and I, next month. That's good for you? We're not taking Meredith. Silence. She's 27 years old and we're done enabling her. This whole situation, finding out about Blake, the theft attempts, now this lawsuit, we're done. Richard, you don't have to. Yes, I do. You were good to her, better than Blake ever was. She destroyed it for some fantasy where she could have both of you. That's not normal. Patricia disagrees, but I'm putting my foot down. What's she going to do? Figure it out like adults, like you did when she blew up your life. This seems harsh. Son, she tried to steal your car. She committed fraud. She's suing you for 50 grand. You're worried about harsh? He had a point. The lawsuit is ongoing, but my lawyer says it'll likely be dismissed. The credit card fraud case is moving forward. The DA is actually pursuing it because she used the card after we separated, which shows clear intent. Blake and Lauren are getting divorced. He's living with his brother. Meredith apparently reached out to him about moving in together, but he blocked her. Even Blake has limits, apparently. Last I heard from Anna, Meredith is couch surfing between friends, posting increasingly unhinged Instagram stories about rising from the ashes and phoenix energy. She started selling essential oils through some MLM, claiming they helped her heal from narcissistic abuse. Me? I love my studio apartment. Derek and I started a weekly poker game with some guys from his work. I'm dating casually, nothing serious, just coffee and conversation. The $22,000 in wedding deposit still stings, but I'm slowly rebuilding my savings. My therapist, got one of those too, said something interesting. You didn't dodge a bullet. You dodged a missile, one that would have exploded after you were legally bound to her. She's right. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I just let Blake be a groomsman. Probably would have married her, lived an increasingly controlled life, and eventually caught her actually cheating with him. Instead, I'm free. Broke, but free. Single, but not being manipulated. Starting over, but on my own terms. Derek said it best at the Bach You lost 22 grand, but saved your soul. Worth every penny. And if you're wondering, yes, I kept the invoice framed. It's hanging in my bathroom. Derek calls it my liberation certificate. Patricia still sends me nasty texts occasionally. I don't respond. Meredith tried making a TikTok about toxic ex syndrome. It got 47 views and one comment. Didn't you try to steal his car? The wedding would have been a month ago today. Instead of celebrating an anniversary, I'm sitting on my secondhand couch in my tiny apartment, eating takeout Chinese with Derek, and I've never been happier. Sometimes the best thing you can do is cancel the wedding and send the invoice. Edit, since someone asked, yes, the credit card fraud charges stuck. She got 18 months probation and has to pay restitution. The civil lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice last week, and Blake's wife Lauren and I are actually friends now. She sends me memes about dodging bullets. Life's weird. My fiancée demanded a strict prenup to protect her future assets, or the wedding was off. I signed it without hesitation. 3 years later, I won the $5 million jackpot. When she asked for her share, I pointed to the clause she wrote herself. Her lawyer was speechless. Original post. I, 35 male, married my now wife, 33, 3 years ago. We'd been dating for 2 years before that, and honestly, I thought she was perfect. Smart, ambitious, had her life together. She worked in pharmaceutical sales, made decent money, had a nice condo she owned outright thanks to an inheritance from her grandmother. About 6 months before our wedding, she sat me down for the talk. I thought maybe she was pregnant or wanted to discuss kids. Nope. We need a prenup, she said, sliding a folder across the table. I wasn't opposed. I'm a high school history teacher, made about $62 a year at the time. She was pulling in around $95 with bonuses. I figured she wanted to protect her condo and savings. Made sense. Okay, sure, we can hire a lawyer together and... I already had my attorney draft it. Red flag? Maybe. But I loved her, and honestly, what did I have to protect? My 2015 Honda Civic and about $18 in savings? I opened the folder. This thing was thorough, like 37 pages thorough. The key points. Her condo remains her separate property. Her inheritance and any future inheritance stays hers. All assets acquired before marriage remain separate. Any assets acquired during marriage through individual means remain the property of the acquirer. Any lottery winnings, gambling proceeds, or windfall gains acquired by either party remains separate property of the winner. Income earned during marriage goes into separate accounts. We'd split household bills 60-40 based on our income ratio. That last point about lottery winnings? I actually laughed. Babe, I buy maybe one scratch ticket a year when I'm feeling lucky. This seems excessive. She didn't laugh. My attorney insisted. It protects both of us. Both of us? I don't have anything. Exactly, so you have nothing to lose by signing. Her mother was there too, another red flag I ignored. Sweetie, this is just smart planning. You understand, right? My daughter worked hard for what she has. She needs protection. I shrugged. Fine, let me have my own lawyer review it first though. Why? Don't you trust me? My fiancée's face did this thing where she looked hurt but also annoyed. It's not about trust, it's about being smart, like you said. She sighed dramatically. Fine, but if you don't sign it, there's no wedding. I can't marry someone who won't respect my boundaries. I took it to a lawyer buddy who owed me a favor. He skimmed it, laughed, and said, "Dude, she's protecting assets you don't even have access to. This is so one-sided, it's almost funny. But hey, you're not losing anything you currently have, so if you love her, sign it." I signed it. We got married. Things were fine. Not great, but fine. She kept her money separate, I kept mine. We had a joint account for bills that we both contributed to. She made it clear early on that her condo was hers, even though I lived there, and I shouldn't redecorate or change anything without asking. Then, about 4 months ago, I stopped at a gas station on my way home from work. Bought a Mega Millions ticket on impulse. $2. Didn't think twice about it. 3 days later, I was grading papers when I remembered to check the numbers. I won. Not the full jackpot, but I matched 5 numbers plus the mega ball on a smaller drawing. $5.2 million before taxes. I literally sat there for 20 minutes checking and rechecking. Called the lottery office. Verified. It was real. $5.2 million. After taxes, I'd see about $3.1 million. Still life-changing money. I told her that night at dinner. "You're joking." "I'm not. I verified it 3 times. I have to go claim it tomorrow." She dropped her fork. Oh my God, we're rich." "Well, I'm comfortable now. We'll be fine." "We'll be fine? This is our money." I shook my head slowly. "Actually, no. Remember the prenup? Any lottery winnings, gambling proceeds, or windfall gains acquired by either party remain separate property of the winner. Your lawyer was real specific about that." Her face went white, then red. "That was meant to protect my future assets. It says either party. That includes me." "But you don't have anything. That clause was for me." "Babe, it's in writing. It's legally binding." She stood up, grabbed the prenup from her home office, and started flipping through it frantically. I watched her find the clause, watched her read it over and over. "This isn't fair. I didn't mean it like this." "What did you mean it like?" "I meant if I won something, it would be mine. You were never supposed to actually win anything." The entitlement was stunning. "So it's only fair when it benefits you?" "Don't twist this. We're married. We're supposed to share. Like we shared your inheritance, your condo, your separate savings account?" She had no response to that. Just stared at me like I'd betrayed her. I claimed the winnings the next day. Took the lump sum. Set up a meeting with a financial advisor. Got everything squared away. I haven't filed for divorce yet. But I'm living in my own apartment now. A nice one. Paid cash for a year up front. Gave my notice at the school for the end of the year. Wanted to finish with my students. The real drama started when her family found out. Update 1, 2 weeks later. So the last 2 weeks have been absolutely insane. My wife's family has gone completely off the rails, and I'm documenting everything because this feels like it's heading toward legal territory. The family intervention. 4 days after I moved out, my wife's mother organized what she called a family meeting. She showed up at my new apartment with my wife, her father, and her brother, who I've always thought was a tool, now confirmed. I opened the door. "How did you get my address?" My wife: "I followed you from school." Creepy, but whatever. "What do you want?" Her mother pushed past me into my apartment. "We need to talk about this situation you've created." I didn't create any situation. I won money that the prenup says is mine. Her brother: "Don't be dense. You know that clause wasn't meant for you. It says either party. I'm a party. It applies to me." Her father, who'd been quiet until now: "Son, be reasonable. You were making teacher money when you signed that. The spirit of the agreement was to protect existing wealth." The spirit? It's a legal document. The words matter. My wife started crying. "How can you be so cold? I thought you loved me." "I do love you, but you made it very clear when we got married that we keep our finances separate. I'm just following the rules you set." Her mother: "This is financial abuse. You're withholding marital assets." I actually laughed. "Your lawyer drafted that prenup. Your lawyer put in that specific clause about lottery winnings. I just followed it." Her brother got aggressive. Stepped up close to me. "You're really gonna screw over my sister like this? After everything she's done for you?" "Like what?" "Letting me pay 40% of the bills while living in her condo that I couldn't change or personalize? Real generous." That's when he shoved me. Not hard, but enough that I stumbled back. Big mistake on his part. "Get out, all of you, now." Her mother: "We're not leaving until you agree to share that money fairly." Fair? Like how it was fair that her inheritance was off limits? Like how it was fair that her condo was completely hers even though I lived there? Get out. I pulled out my phone. I'm calling the cops. You have 30 seconds. They left, but not before her mother said, "You'll regret this. We'll see you in court." The lawyer consultation. My wife did exactly what her mother threatened. I got served with papers 3 days ago. She's trying to argue that the prenup should be thrown out because it was signed under duress, and the lottery clause was unconscionable. I met with my own attorney yesterday. His name's on my contacts list as best decision ever now. He read through everything, looked at the timeline, reviewed the prenup, and just started grinning. This is beautiful. She drafted this herself? Her lawyer drafted it. Even better, she had legal representation. You had legal representation. There's no duress claim here. And unconscionable? She's the one who insisted on the separate property provisions. She can't cherry-pick which ones apply. So I'm good? You're golden. In fact, I think we should countersue for the cost of this frivolous lawsuit plus attorney fees. Will that work? Her lawyer's going to take one look at this prenup and tell her to drop it. If she doesn't, she's going to hemorrhage money on a case she can't win. The financial manipulation. Here's where it gets really ugly. Yesterday, I got a call from my bank. Apparently, my wife tried to claim there was fraud on our joint account, the one we use for bills, and attempted to freeze all the funds in it. The account has maybe $4,200 in it. My share of bills for the next 2 months. The bank caught it because the prenup, which I'd provided to them when I started moving my money, clearly stated separate finances, and she's not authorized to make unilateral decisions on that account. But get this, she also tried to claim she needed emergency access to my new accounts because she was my wife and I was hiding marital assets. The bank shut her down hard, told her she needed a court order. She apparently had a meltdown right there in the branch. They have it on security footage. Then I got a call from my school principal. My wife had contacted them claiming I was experiencing a mental health crisis and needed to take a leave of absence, said I'd come into sudden money and was making erratic decisions. Thankfully, my principal knows me well. Just wanted to give you a heads up. We're not doing anything with this, but document it. The entitlement is honestly breathtaking. She wants to paint me as unstable while simultaneously trying to access money that legally isn't hers. The real kicker, I was going through old files yesterday and found something interesting. Remember how she said her lawyer insisted on the lottery clause? I found an email chain from before our wedding. She'd used our shared computer to print something and left her email open. She specifically told her lawyer to include that clause because, and I quote, "I occasionally buy lottery tickets, and if I ever win big, I don't want him thinking he's entitled to any of it." She wanted that protection. For herself. Never imagined it could apply to me. I forwarded those emails to my lawyer. He was thrilled. My wife's been texting nonstop. The messages started apologetic, then angry, then desperate. Now they're just weird. "We can work this out. I'll drop the lawsuit if you just share 50 cents, 40%. Please, I made a mistake. Can we just talk? You're destroying our marriage over money. Everyone thinks you're being selfish. My mom's lawyer says we have a strong case. They don't 30%. I haven't responded to any of them. My lawyer said not to engage. The preliminary hearing is in 3 weeks. Her lawyer already requested an emergency meeting with the judge to discuss the validity of the prenuptial agreement. My lawyer's response? Bring it on. Update 2. 1 month later. The courtroom drama exceeded my wildest expectations. Her lawyer really thought he had something here. He really did. The court hearing? We met in front of a judge last week for the preliminary hearing. My wife showed up with her mother, her brother, and 2 lawyers. 2. Apparently, she hired a second one who specializes in unconscionable contracts. I showed up with my 1 lawyer, a briefcase full of documentation, and 0 patience for nonsense. Her primary lawyer went first. Your Honor, my client believes this prenuptial agreement should be voided due to several factors. First, the clause regarding lottery winnings is unconscionable as it was never intended to. The judge held up her hand. Counselor, did your client have legal representation when signing this prenup? She did, but did the respondent have legal representation? Yes, however. Was there any coercion, fraud, or duress involved in the signing? Her lawyer hesitated. Not in the traditional sense, Your Honor, but my client was in love and didn't fully understand the implications. So she signed a legal document with a lawyer present of her own free will? Yes, Your Honor. And this prenup was drafted by her attorney, correct? That's correct, but the specific lottery clause was meant to protect her future. The judge cut him off again. Counselor, I've reviewed this document. The language is crystal clear. Either party means both parties. That's basic contract law. Do you have any legal precedent suggesting otherwise? He didn't. He stammered through some nonsense about the spirit of the agreement and how I was being unfair. Then my lawyer stood up. Oh man, this was beautiful. Your Honor, I'd like to submit several pieces of evidence. First, an email chain from before the marriage, where the plaintiff specifically requested this clause to protect her own lottery activities. Second, documentation showing that for the entire marriage, the plaintiff insisted on completely separate finances per her own demands. Third, bank records showing she never contributed to his separate accounts or allowed him access to hers. Fourth, testimony from the plaintiff's own mother, stating that the prenup was designed to protect what's hers. He laid it all out. Every email, every bank statement, every text message where she'd told me, my money is mine. The judge looked at my wife. Ma'am, you had this prenup drafted specifically to keep assets separate. You insisted your husband sign it or there would be no wedding. Is that correct? My wife tried to speak, but her voice cracked. Yes, but I never thought. You never thought he'd have assets worth protecting? That's not how contracts work. Her second lawyer jumped in. Your Honor, we'd like to argue that the prenup should be voided because the consideration was inadequate. My client brought significantly more assets to the marriage, and she wanted to keep them separate, which this prenup allows her to do. You can't have it both ways, counselor. Then came the nuclear moment. My lawyer pulled out another document. Your Honor, we'd also like to submit this attempted fraud report from the defendant's bank. The plaintiff tried to claim fraud on their joint account and freeze his funds. She also contacted his employer claiming he was mentally unstable. We believe this demonstrates a pattern of financial manipulation and harassment. The judge's expression went from annoyed to seriously displeased. Is this true? My wife's lawyer looked like he wanted to disappear. Your Honor, my client was emotional and made some regrettable decisions. Some regrettable decisions? Counselor, attempting to freeze someone's bank account and contacting their employer with false claims isn't regrettable. It's potentially criminal. Her lawyer tried to salvage it. We'd like to request a continuance to better prepare our case. Request denied. This prenup is valid and enforceable. Case dismissed. Just like that, over. But my wife wasn't done. The parking lot ambush. As I was leaving the courthouse, my wife's brother and father cornered me in the parking garage. Not physically threatening, but definitely aggressive. Her father, you really did this. You actually screwed over my daughter. I followed the legal agreement she demanded I sign. Her brother, legal doesn't mean right. You know she needs that money. Needs? She makes $95 a year and owns a condo outright. Her father, she has expenses, plans. She was going to invest in a business opportunity. With my money? That's not how this works. Her brother stepped closer. Family takes care of family. Then where was this energy when she refused to let me put even one picture on the wall of her condo? Where was this when she made sure every penny she earned stayed separate from mine? Her father looked genuinely confused. That was different. She earned that money. And I earned this. Well, I won it. Same principle, according to the prenup she wrote. Her brother, you're making a huge mistake. When she's successful and you're still a broke teacher, don't come crawling back. I'm not a teacher anymore. I quit, and I won't be crawling anywhere. They didn't like that, but they left. The settlement offer. 2 days after the hearing, I got a call from her lawyer. A different one. Her third lawyer, apparently. My client would like to propose a settlement. The court already ruled. Yes, but she'd like to avoid further litigation. She's willing to drop all claims in exchange for $800,000. I actually laughed out loud. $800,000? For what? Pain and suffering, emotional distress, and to preserve the marriage. The marriage where she kept everything separate. The marriage where she made it clear my contributions didn't matter? That marriage. My client is willing to be reasonable. Tell your client I'm willing to give her exactly what the prenup entitles her to, nothing, because that's what I got from her stuff. That's very cold. It's very consistent. Have a nice day. I hung up and immediately called my lawyer. They offered me a settlement. Let me guess, they want you to pay them? $800. He laughed so hard I thought he'd hurt himself. The audacity. Absolutely not. In fact, I'm filing our countersuit today. The countersuit. My lawyer filed a countersuit for legal fees, harassment, attempted fraud, and defamation for contacting my employer with false claims. We're asking for $125,000 in damages. Her new lawyer tried to call it aggressive and vindictive. My lawyer's response? Your client tried to steal money through legal manipulation after losing in court. This is accountability. The discovery phase is ongoing, but here's what we've uncovered. 1. She took out a personal loan for $50,000 3 weeks before I won the lottery to invest in her friend's MLM scheme, essential oils or some nonsense. She was counting on her next bonus to pay it back. The bonus didn't happen because her sales tanked. 2. She's been telling everyone, friends, family, coworkers, that I'm stealing her money. Several people have contacted me asking why I'm being so cruel to her. 3. She tried to access my parents' information to explain the situation to them. My mom hung up on her after 2 minutes and called me laughing. 4. Her mother hired a private investigator to follow me, presumably to find evidence of something. The PI contacted my lawyer and said he'd be happy to testify that I've done nothing but work with my financial advisor and look at houses. The final straw. Last week I came home to find my car keyed. Not random scratches. The word thief carved into the driver's side door. I have a security camera now, first thing I bought after moving. The footage clearly shows my wife's brother doing it. I filed a police report. He was arrested yesterday. My wife called me crying, begging me to drop the charges. He's family. He made a mistake. He committed a crime. Please, he'll lose his job if he gets convicted. Should have thought about that before he keyed my car. I'll pay for the repairs. With what money? Your separate account that I was never allowed to know the balance of? She couldn't respond to that. I'm not dropping the charges. I'm done being the nice guy who gets walked all over. Final update. 2 months later. It's over. Finally. Let me wrap up this saga. The divorce. I filed for divorce 6 weeks ago. Given the prenup, it was straightforward. We had no shared assets beyond that joint account with $4,200 in it. We split it. She tried to claim she deserved alimony because she'd become accustomed to a certain lifestyle. The judge literally laughed. Ma'am, according to these records, you kept your finances completely separate throughout your marriage. You earned more than your husband. You contributed to exactly one joint account for bills. There is no lifestyle he provided that you became accustomed to. Her lawyer tried one last Hail Mary. Your Honor, the lottery winnings fundamentally changed the marital dynamics. The lottery winnings that the prenup explicitly designated as separate property. Try again, counselor. Divorce granted. Clean break. I walked out of that courthouse a free man. The countersuit results. The countersuit settled out of court. Her lawyer finally convinced her that going to trial would cost her more than just paying up. She agreed to pay $85,000 for legal fees, harassment, and the defamation claim. Her insurance covered the defamation part, but the legal fees came out of her pocket. Turns out that MLM investment went south fast. She lost the entire $50. She's now underwater on that personal loan, and her credits tanked because she missed 2 payments. The irony is beautiful. She tried to get my money to cover her bad decisions and ended up deeper in debt. Her brother's consequences. Her brother pled guilty to vandalism to avoid a more serious charge. He got 100 hours of community service and has to pay restitution for my car repairs, $2,800. He also got fired from his job because they have a zero-tolerance policy for criminal convictions. My wife's mother called me to yell about ruining his life. I reminded her that he ruined it himself when he committed a crime on camera. She hung up on me. The family aftermath. The family has completely fractured. My ex-wife's father apparently took my side, quietly. He called me a month ago. I owe you an apology. I didn't know how bad she'd gotten. Her mother enabled this behavior her whole life. I tried to warn her the prenup was too strict, but she insisted. We talked for an hour. Turns out he'd been unhappy in his own marriage for years, always bending to his wife's demands. Seeing this whole situation play out was a wake-up call for him. He's filing for divorce too. His soon-to-be ex-wife blames me for destroying the family, because of course she does. My ex-wife moved back in with her mother. She's apparently miserable. Her friends distanced themselves after the truth came out about her behavior. The ones who stayed told me privately that she's been insufferable, constantly playing victim. She sent one final text 2 weeks ago. "I hope you're happy alone with your money." I didn't respond. But honestly, yeah, I am happy. Where I am now. I bought a house. 3-bedroom, nice yard, quiet neighborhood, paid cash. It's completely mine. No strings attached. I'm not teaching anymore. Instead, I started a scholarship fund for low-income students. Donated $500 to it up front. The rest of my winnings are invested conservatively. I'm living off the interest, volunteering at a local community center, and actually enjoying life for the first time in years. I realized something during this whole mess. My ex-wife never saw me as a partner. I was someone who helped with bills and didn't interfere with her life. The second I had something of value, she felt entitled to it, while still keeping everything of hers locked away. The prenup she insisted on wasn't about protection, it was about control. She wanted the freedom to keep everything separate, while having the security of a husband. She just never expected that arrangement to benefit me instead of her. What I learned. People show you who they are. My ex-wife showed me repeatedly that she valued her independence and her assets above our partnership. I just didn't want to see it. When she insisted on that prenup, when she wouldn't let me hang pictures in her condo, when she kept her accounts completely separate, those weren't just quirks. They were warnings. The lottery money didn't change who I am. It just revealed who she was. And you know what? That $2 lottery ticket was the best money I ever spent. Not because of the jackpot, but because it showed me the truth before I wasted more years with someone who saw me as convenient rather than essential. Some people in my life think I should have shared the money. They say marriage is about compromise and generosity. And they're right, marriage is about those things, but our marriage never was. She made sure of that. I don't regret the divorce. I don't regret enforcing the prenup. And I definitely don't regret putting my foot down when she tried to manipulate and harass me into giving up what was legally mine. The best revenge isn't living well. It's living authentically, on your own terms, without someone trying to control your every move while keeping you at arm's length. I'm good. More than good. I'm free. And the prenup she demanded to protect herself, it protected me instead. Beautifully. Perfectly. Exactly as written. Thanks for following this journey, Reddit. Time to move forward and actually enjoy life.